Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Plug Talk Sports live show. This is episode 196. Hope everyone's having a great start to the week. My name is Danny Torres. We got Jonka Don't Stop, Brandon Hernandez, and Blake Korn. Hope you boys are doing great. It was a interesting weekend. You guys saw the plug of the week. Fantastic Scotty Scheffler chip, hole 17 coming back from 4 shots down, and then in that final round was 3 above par, ended up winning the BMW Championship coming from behind there. That was our plug of the week. But how are you boys doing?
Good. Can't complain. Especially after some big Dolphin news. I know Jonka might have some different opinions, but can't complain. Good smile on my face.
I've been pretty good watching some football. I got a haircut from Grumman's today. Shout out to Grumman's. And then for anybody that I know, all you guys are anybody that's doing fantasy right now, I got an update. Whoever is the starting running back against the Bengals defense, start that running back over anybody else you have on running back. I'm telling you this right now. It's bad.
Some words of wisdom from Jonka, always dropping the heat. And Blake, if you guys didn't notice, Blake's hair is, I think he's trying to copy me with the buzz cut. But this guy tells Brandon, you missed it, but he got this haircut at 4 a.m.
Who cut your hair at 4 a.m.?
Yeah. My sister.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me you knocked on your door and was just like.
No, next in I'm in my bedroom. Next, the room behind where my camera is like the big hangout room, and so everyone was keeping me awake. So I just went in there, and she just had 8 towels on the floor and a chair, and she's just giving a friend of mine a buzz cut, and I was just like, I'll take one. I don't mind. And so I just sat in the chair, got a buzz cut at 4:30 in the morning.
Hey, this is a great moment. If you guys didn't watch Quarterbacks, this is a great moment for Blake to get a sponsorship deal, just like Kirk Cousins has with Super.
Yeah. Bald and Friendly. There's got to be a company like that. I'll take that sponsorship deal.
Bald and Friendly. Anyways, guys, let's get to some sports talk. NFL preseason week 2. We're gonna start with the Dolphins. These guys are Dolphins fans down here. There was some big news today. Honestly, shocked me. That came out of left field. Was not expecting that. With Judon visiting the Dolphins and then ended up signing with the Dolphins. I think this does improve Miami a little bit, but there was a lot going on, guys, last week. They were getting torched by Detroit in joint practice, but then they got the last laugh, and then the preseason game, clutch interception seals that game for them. But are we on red alert here? Are we concerned for the Dolphins?
Look, it's preseason, right? It's only training camp. You still trying to understand who exactly is on this roster. From my understanding, though, obviously Tua taking responsibility and also showing responsibility for the team from that first joint practice where they basically said, as bad as it can get, felt a sneeze back there. Apologies. But anyway, as bad as it can get, they were saying that the offensive linemen had to be not accounted for penalties anymore because there were so many flags being thrown in the joint practice, apparently for the first day against Detroit, that the referees just took a step back. That's how bad it was. It was stopping the play. It was stopping practice in total. Some other guys in Detroit were saying basically that, this team is not like anything I've seen. It's not as competitive as, the other, contenders that Detroit's going to have this year. And then joint practice 2, Dolphins tear things up. Tua Waddle, great connections, obviously. And then for the preseason game itself, 24-17, winning it. And I thought there was a red alert after that first preseason game against Chicago where we had both quarterbacks kind of playing iffy with the O-line. I wouldn't say that. Honestly, a little better than I would say last week. Despite that one joint practice, I don't think there's a red alarm to alert anyone at the moment.
Jonka, I know you're gonna have to respond to that.
I'm gonna answer for the Judon thing. We had him 2 years ago. He wanted some money. We didn't give it to him. We decided to trade him for a 5th round pick. He goes to Atlanta, doesn't really do much in Atlanta. That's why they released him. That's why he was free, and he's been looking for a place this whole time, and he finally ends up going to Miami for I think $6 million for a 1-year deal. I feel like he's just like at the end of his career already. Like he's just hopping for as much as he can get. Now he does bring experience, but at the same time, I think if I read correctly, Ethan Bonner did get injured and he might be out for like a month. So it's like addition with subtraction, but at the same time, Ethan Bonner's a cornerback. You ended up getting an edge rusher, which I don't think was a position of need, to be honest. Maybe you get him just in case Jalen Phillips gets injured. But overall, the preseason game, I wasn't really that impressed. I mean, besides Ollie Gordon, I think Ollie Gordon is like the what we should be talking about. I think he should be RB1, but I mean now with Javon Achane being out for we don't know how long, we should be having conversations on who should be running back one, and obviously the offensive line is not optimal, and this defense will not. Yeah, I'm gonna say defensive backs are not up to par what the Dolphins should have. This season's not gonna be good. I don't care what the preseason. Yeah, they even though they won all the smack talk they had in joint practices, it doesn't matter. Like it, I'm not expecting much from the Dolphins. If they get more than 6 wins, I'd be surprised. But
Wow.
How many of the Patriots had last year?
4, and it would have been 5 if they would have counted that 2-tap and when his feet were in. Brandon,
all right. Sound like me in Week 18, 2023. But Jonka, I'm telling you right now, the Ollie Gordon thing again, impressive day. I think he had like 50 yards of rushing off of 10 attempts. But you also talking about the quarterback play, the receivers. Eskridge, I saw Eskridge on that first touchdown drive throwing up in a bin. That's how the dog in him, right? Getting through all that, especially special teams. The only mistake I would have to say from this Dolphins team in that preseason game, again, a 24-17 victory, maybe just that fumble on that kick return. That was kind of ridiculous to see. But besides that, I mean, receivers look fine. Again, preseason. We haven't seen Tyreek Hill or any of these other guys.
You don't think Darren Waller not having played yet is a factor? Like it's like
who cares?
You got rid of Jonnu for him though.
Hey,
Chris Greer got rid of him to make a paycheck for someone else. And of course, unfortunately, this looks to be Judon. So Anthony Weaver's most likely going to do a 9-2 type of defense, I'm guessing. 9 guys rushing. But still, though, I think there was a lot of more positives out of this game. And then on the other side, on Detroit's side, the second half, I mean, what the hell was Hooker doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
that entire game. So I think there's more questions about Detroit. At least backup-wise, quarterback-wise, defensively, maybe you want to answer that because how the hell you get Quinn Ewers to ball out like he did? Again, a guy coming off the third string, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I don't know. I thought it was really positive for the Dolphins.
2 things. One, there is something impressive, I think, in the quarterback battle. We all know that Tua is going to have the number 1 spot, but Blake, Jonka says he's not impressed, but I thought there was something a little impressive going on there between Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers. I mean, Wilson, 15 for 23, 151 yards, 1 touchdown, but Quinn Ewers, 11 for 17, as Brandon said, 116 yards, but 2 touchdowns. You think there's a battle going on there? I mean, do you guys think you're impressed by who do you think is going to take the number 2 spot behind Tua?
So I think going into the regular season, it's going to be Zach Wilson, but I'm not saying I want it to be Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson Quinn Ewers is more like Tua than Zach Wilson is. Quinn Ewers at Texas ran that rhythmic offense, that timing and flow offense. Zach Wilson's never really ran that at BYU. It was be the creator in the backfield if we don't keep the 3-second pocket for you. So I'd rather Quinn Ewers be in it. I also like that he's a rookie, so you can mold it more. But I'll be honest. My first article I wrote for you guys, which was 3 weeks ago now, was I went to that Dolphins practice and I watched what happened. And Quinn really impressed me. He's really good at not getting overwhelmed. That's why the first preseason game shocked me. I didn't get to talk about that with you guys, but I was really shocked that the pass rush was affecting him that much. I don't know how awful that O-line is. It is. I don't think I put in the article. I said that I agreed with Jonko. I wouldn't be shocked if this team wins just 6 games. The O-line's that bad. Like that we can't run a ball inside. And that's an issue in a West Coast scheme. When you run outside, you have to establish that you can at least go inside and run for 3 yards of carry. We can't do that right now. So, but answering the main question, I think it's going to go Tua, Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, and it'll end the year Tua, Quinn Ewers, Zach Wilson.
Brandon, because there's still some like unclarity about this situation, but what exactly is going on with Tyreek Hill? Once again, they asked Tua about his relationship with Tyreek, and Tua once again was kind of like, yeah, we are not the same type of person. We're 2 different types of personalities, and it's definitely a relationship that I need to really like work on to have a stable relationship with him. I mean, is there something going on? I mean, there's been a lot of rumors too about Miami trying to trade him.
Yeah, I would probably say for that one is just the reality of the situation, right? From obviously what Hill's done off the field, but more importantly, what he's done in locker room. We talk about how the Dolphins ended their season with Hill saying, I want out, and then slowly that became an apology after some time. And those things take time, I mean, you might have some guys in the NFL where, you'll see front offices be like, oh, yeah, we want to work with a player to get him signed. Or, yeah, players in locker rooms like, oh, yeah, we're going to be fine. Don't even worry about it, And then behind closed doors, it's, oh, this is a toxic place. So Tua, and again, we see more responsibility out of him. We see more of a leadership role out of him going to 2025. That's the reality of the situation that Tua is saying to the public that, hey, it's going to take time. This isn't going to be fixed off of one meeting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's exactly what I think is happening through this point. I don't think it's going to be a push for concern like, oh, you didn't run this route, or like, oh, I can't focus because my quarterback situation, or I don't really think it's going to be an Antonio Brown situation for Hill. That Hill, it's like Hill's here, Antonio Brown frostbite on the foot up here. So that's where I would have the situation. So still it's going to take some time.
You don't think Tyreek saying that it's like the 3 years he's been with the Dolphins, he hasn't learned the offense? You don't think that's concerning?
Yeah, I mean, for Austin coordinator Smith, I mean, he should have been gone right next to Chris Greer. But for this offense, I feel like it's changed a lot, though. Like, I remember it was like kind of like fun and gun type of Steve Spurrier offense when Hill first got here, and then Tua gets hurt. And Hill's trying to figure out, like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we passing at me 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on a bubble screen when no one's even blocking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like for Hill, maybe he's going to try to take this team more serious. I know there was a lot of like guys filtered through, like Ramsey and whatnot, that just got here just to be here. So is it concerning? A little. I'm not going to lie to you, John. It's a little concerning. I don't think you should be telling people, I don't know what the hell is going on in that playbook. But, hey, if that's changed a few times, especially last year, I could see why. I could really see why.
Jonka, I want to go to you. Your New England Patriots 20-12 over the Minnesota Vikings. And rookies Travion Henderson and Efton Chisholm, both with touchdowns in this game. What do you like out of your Patriots in at least this game, but as well as the first preseason game?
I'm gonna have to say Travion Henderson. I think he might be, from what I think, and I think everybody would consider to be the biggest steal of the draft because of the Browns taking Quinshon Judkins right before him, and the Dolphins selecting a tackle before him, and then we were able to select him. I think if he would have been selected before somebody would have taken him, I think we would have gone some other position. But for Efton Chisholm, bro, like for some reason my team, bro, just loves like these small white guys that can catch and are just tough, bro. Amendola, Julian Edelman, bro, Wes Welker, like
yeah.
No, it's like the weirdest thing, bro. It's like it's our thing. It's whatever. But I'm loving it. It's funny. He's from Eastern Washington, and funny enough, another small white receiver from Eastern Washington in the name of Cooper Kupp attended there, and he broke all his records this year. So it's funny how that works out. I think he's gonna make the 53-man roster. Apparently, he's been doing great in practice. He's been showing up 5 a.m., being the last one out. He's been phenomenal. Apparently, from what I've been hearing. But overall, I think we do have some leering problems because of the O line. Garrett Bradbury, who was on the Vikings last year, hasn't been performing that well at center, and right guard has been underwhelming also. But besides that, like Will Campbell's been doing his thing. He's been balling. Jared Wilson, the center from Georgia, they moved him to left guard. He's been doing really good. And then Morgan Moses from the Jets came here. He's been solid at right tackle. So we're just having a little bit of trouble of center and right guard. But I think depending on what happens at the trade deadline and next season, we can close those two gaps and hopefully give Drake May an even better O line for next season. But after right now, I'm just hyped. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. The offense is rolling. We haven't even seen Stephon Diggs on the field yet, and Drake May is looking really comfortable in the pocket. He's running when he has to. I'm excited for this season. Just watch out because I'm just saying, I know this is more bias, but they're saying that we have the second easiest schedule. I know that's more on the analytical side, but if that is true, Buffalo might need to watch out because if let's say this year we have a really good year, we could take the AFC East. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. Buffalo has one of the hardest schedules. We will have one of the easiest schedules. So I'm just putting that out there.
You heard it here first. Jonka always with the crazy hot takes. I just have to follow up with you. What are you seeing? I think one of the most important connections is going to be Drake May and Stephon Diggs. I mean, what are you seeing out of that? Is he too occupied with Cardi B, or is he locked in and focused?
That he broke up with Cardi B already. That's already done. He's already thank Jesus that it's already over. All that drug speculation months ago, that's already been gone. He's been recuperating off that torn ACL. It's been only 7 months since that attack happened, and he's already back on the field, and he's been looking really good. But he did say he doesn't know if he's going to be back by week 1. He's saying he's optimistic that he might play, but he might be just a little bit careful not to like put too much pressure on himself to come back. But overall, it is looking like he might play week 1 or week 2 if he doesn't do too much in practice.
I want you guys to be honest with me. Should I or should I not be concerned about my Dallas Cowboys? It is only preseason, but a 31-13 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't have a pretty week 1 in preseason loss either. We saw Cooper Rush, who was our backup quarterback, come into AT&T Stadium against the Cowboys and put up some numbers. Now wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, it's said that he is suffering from a PCL injury. He's not done for the season, but he'll at least miss a month and, obviously the beginning of the season. Obviously, it's still yet to be seen, the dual threat of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I think Dallas is going to be throwing the ball a lot more, but there's a lot of chatter. And yes, Joe Milton can play. We know that. He can play, but there's a lot of chatter that this guy is going to take over in Dallas or sort of challenge Dak Prescott's position. And look, I don't think so. I mean, Dallas has invested so much money in Dak Prescott being the guy and being the franchise leader. I don't see – it would have to be something like Tony Romo went down and Dak Prescott took over and Dak Prescott was so good that they just couldn't switch back. That would have to happen. Other than that, it's going to be Dak Prescott. And I don't see Joe Milton really taking over that role from him. But there's a lot of concerns. I mean, we still have the whole Micah Parsons situation, which really has gotten nowhere. I mean, it's just a weird situation. The guy, it's been a couple weeks now, 3 weeks since he requested that trade. He's been in all the practices in uniform. He was at the preseason game in uniform. This is a defense that just 2 years ago, I mean, last year was very tough, but just 2 years ago was a top 5 defense in the league. I mean, will they be back to that? And then, of course, with the offense, new running backs in the group, We'll have to see who's going to fight it out for RB1 and how that run game is going to work. And, of course, with Pickens and Lamb. But should I be concerned with these results that we're seeing in the preseason for Dallas?
You guys mind if I go first real quick? Because I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
I want to ask a question back to you. What would be a successful season for the Dallas Cowboys as currently constructed?
I think
a successful season is you sneak into the playoffs.
I think for me, in my opinion, a successful season with this team and the way it's been in the last couple of years with Dak Prescott is if they at least can get to the NFC Championship.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're insane for thinking that because you have 2 wide receiver ones on your team. And the difference between your 2 wide receiver ones and like the Dolphins 2 wide receiver ones is both your wide receiver ones are 6 foot plus. They're both big guys. You can't just double them. You can't double both of them and then they're both out of the game because on a hitch route, George Pickens can just push one of the guys off him and he's one-on-one coverage again.
Yeah.
Like I think your guys' ceiling is you guys can go 10-7. You get second in the division to the Eagles again, and you maybe get lucky and win an away game against, I don't know if the Bears get in and Caleb Williams struggles in the playoffs, but I don't see NFC Championship game, but I wouldn't be worried. The only thing I'd be worried about is if Michael Parsons actually gets traded, because I threw this idea around to my friend, and I want to hear what you thought.
Mm-hmm.
It was when we signed Judon today. I called him and I said, "You know what I think's going to happen?" He was like, "What?" I said, "I think that the Dolphins could trade either Phillips or Chubb and 2 firsts for Micah Parsons." And who would say no to that? Because if Parsons means he's not signing back, the Dolphins will pay him because they're getting rid of a huge salary to just add the huge salary again. You guys now have a pass rusher who's going to play for multiple years, and you get 2 firsts.
Which I'm okay with the picks, but here's my thing with Micah Parsons. It's not that he doesn't have a contract. He does.
He's under contract, yeah.
He's under contract. This is just about an extension. So for me, it's like there's still a lot of time to negotiate this extension because I believe he has 2 more years on this contract, 2 or 3 more years on this contract. And that's still a lot of time to negotiate an extension. So what is the rush of holding out? And he's not even really holding out. It's like mixed signals because he has shown up to everything.
Yeah.
He has shown up to everything. So it makes me think at times like this is just all drama like we usually see from the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously talks are still non-existent from what I've heard from reports, but the guy is showing up. The guy is showing up to everything, and the question still looms: will this guy be on the field in Week 1? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But
if he's not, then I don't think you guys win more than 7 games. I think it's impossible for you guys to win more than 7 games if he's not playing.
No,
he's that big of a deal for you guys.
I wouldn't say impossible because, I mean, we just saw the Bengals, do something, and they have a trash defense. So I wouldn't say they just got George Pickens, and they obviously have CeeDee Lamb, and their running back room with Phil Maffa and Javonte, and I forgot who else they have. It's not that bad. The O-line is solid. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it will be difficult to make the playoffs if you do lose Micah Parsons because you're losing that QB pressure that you have consistently. And then I'm looking here on Sports Track. Micah Parsons' contract is up after this year. He'd be a UFA, but I think the Cowboys will have his rights. I think if I read that correctly. So this would be technically this is his club option year, and then he'd be UFA next year.
I want to hear from Brandon because he looked at me like I was talking about UFOs and aliens when I said NFC Championship.
I would say that let's get close in the division first. You know what I mean? Let's just see what they can do within the own division. I think for the Cowboys themselves, obviously, we're talking about quarterback play, wide receiver play. One of the biggest things, though, and again, this was something that you can see bits about, and again, preseason football, yes, but the Cowboys through rushing 51 yards. We're talking about 51 yards. The guy who had the most, Miles Sanders, 15 yards for himself, most. Yeah. So this is not going to be a team that's a ground and pound type of team. This is not going to be a team that's going to be low in the trenches, I would have to say for myself. If Dak Prescott suffers in some way, you better hope that the Joe Milton stock is high right now. You better hope that this guy is ready to go at some point. Because if Dak's gone, which we've seen in the past, unfortunately, the season will topple around and probably won't even make past wild card. So I do think that the Cowboys, again, if fully healthy, and again, knock on wood with that one, because as a Dolphin fan, I understand that pain. But if fully healthy, this Cowboys team is at least third in the division, most likely a wild card team, most likely loses in wild card weekend.
So you guys don't think that they can surprise in this division?
Absolutely not. I don't think they can surprise in the NFC. I think there's more surprises in the NFC West than there are in this division.
Damn, that's such a loaded question, man.
This isn't the NFC East of 2019. Like, it's not three teams are genuinely that close. The Eagles are so clear.
I think the word you had in there was the surprise. The word surprise is what's getting me. Because the Cowboys are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a good team. But surprise is the word that I'm trying to struggle with. Because, like, the Giants were complete dog water last year. And I think they have a roster and a QB now in Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter now that can make a difference. I feel like they could be a surprise team. But the Cowboys, I mean, surprise team? I would say surprise, but I think they could do better. Now with George Pickens and CD having a partner now, it opens up the lanes. Or I'm telling you that.
Listen, you guys may think I'm crazy for this. And look, all congrats to them and everything they've done. I still don't believe in the Philadelphia Eagles. They were inches, millimeters away from being eliminated in the playoffs to the Los Angeles Rams. Very close. If it was so cut and clear, that would have been a blowout.
But let's be honest here. The Rams defense is pretty effing good, bro. Like,
yeah, isn't it more that the Rams are a really good team and not that the Philadelphia Eagles nearly lost to a bad team?
But if they're so dominant, this should be a breeze for them.
Compared it to your team, though.
Oh, to my team, I think that when it becomes, look, I'm gonna say this about Dolphins fans because, and this is all.
Whoa!
This is, he didn't even say anything yet.
Listen,
I love this.
This is football in general. Division games, you never know. It's always up in the air. I don't care how good you are. We've seen a crappy Patriots team beat a good Dolphins team on any given day.
So no, we know the script's been the same for the past 20 years. Dolphins and Pats go 1-1. Dolphins usually 2-0 against Jets, and we usually go 0-2 against Bills, unless it's like a miracle somewhere in Miami.
So the same thing that happens there, the same thing in our division. The Cowboys can beat the Eagles.
Look, your division, and again, this is a crazy stat that I saw from Fox. That division recycles division champs like no other division in the AFC or NFC. There's never a back-to-back, and if there is, that's because there's one of the best teams in the NFL at the moment. You know what I mean? So I would honestly, at this point in this cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders win it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win it 2 years from now. You know, that's how much this
the Cowboys
division
are not better than the Commanders. Wait a minute, I forgot. They're not better than the Commanders.
Bro. The Giants are scaring me a little bit.
They are. Now, honestly, because we were talking about preseason, that is the team of the preseason, in my opinion. It's a shame the Hard Knocks didn't go to New York. Besides Buffalo.
Let's not forget that a 4-win, almost 5-win Cowboy team went into Washington and beat Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Let's not forget about that. With Cooper Rush.
No, we're not forgetting that. We're not forgetting that. We're also not forgetting that the Commanders were insane going to the playoffs.
Of course. Still managed to beat them, though, in their home turf.
I'm sorry. I want you two to stand on it because you guys like the Giants so much. Say the Cowboys are going to be 4th in the division. Do it. Say it. Say it, please.
I'm going to pull out a guarantee in this one. I don't even know what the Giants' schedule is, but damn it, I'm riding that train. I guarantee that the Giants will at least be 3rd in the NFC East. Ceiling is set for New York.
Hey, you know what they say
Yeah.
about New York and Dallas? The Giants, Dak Prescott's their daddy. So
I don't know if I can go that far, bro. I don't know if I can go that far.
It's
I
fun to
can
think about, though.
I can see the Commanders in third. I can see it.
Really?
I don't know why. I feel like last year was like they had a lot of close games that went their way, and that every
Yeah.
year that's not gonna happen. So I think they're gonna be losing a couple games here and there where it's nip and tuck. And I think Jaden Daniels is well now with this drama. I don't think he has enough receivers. I mean Terry McLaurin is good, but like everything else is kind of like wishy washy. The running back room is now with Brian Robinson Jr. being on the trade block. I don't think it's an. I think maybe next year or maybe they try to trade for somebody. They lost De'Ami Brown, if I'm correct,
Yes.
to the Bills. So their wide receiver room is not that impressive to me. I feel like that's going to be the hindering point. I think they're going to make Jaden Daniels do way too much, and that's going to be like the turning point of
Hey
them.
man, and they look. Also, the Detroit Lions folded big time, and they robbed us of an NFC championship that would have been great between the Lions and the Eagles. I would
That
have
would have been
loved that.
so. It would
Bro.
have been so good.
I know, except we got robbed from that. We got robbed of it.
That Lions team was built to beat that Eagles team.
Bro, I think they had like 17 injured defensive players throughout the entire season, bro. It kind of like it was leading towards that.
We are going to stick with football, but we are going to go into college football with the NCAA putting down a punishment on the University of Michigan. There's a lot of information here, but I'll run through it. So they got some financial penalties. Michigan must forfeit over $20 million in postseason revenue from the 2025 and 2026 football seasons. They're on probation and recruiting restrictions placed on 4 years probation, 25% reduction in official visits during this upcoming year, 14-week ban on recruiting communications during the probation period. There is no postseason ban or vacated wins. And there is a show cause orders and suspensions. So Connor Stallions, former staffer who orchestrated the whole scheme, is 8 years. Jim Harbaugh, former head coach, is for 10 years, beginning after his existing 4-year penalty ends. And there is some other guys that are a part of that. The key findings is the investigation uncovered that from 2021 to 2023, Michigan ran an off-campus, in-person scouting scheme nicknamed KGB, filming opponents' signals, which they called dirty film. And there was widespread failures to cooperate, including deletion of evidence, misleading statements, and disposal of materials. And the program exhibited a broader culture of non-compliance under Harbaugh's tenure. And you ask, what was Michigan's response? The university plans to appeal parts of the ruling, especially the financial penalties and interpretations, of the evidence. So that is some pretty big news for the University of Michigan. And I think what makes it worse is that they were caught and then tried to cover it up and try to delete evidence, as the NCAA is stating, and that I think that makes things a whole lot worse. I mean, they're making University of Miami look like saints over here.
Funny you bring
Convicts.
you bring Miami up. I think you said back to 2021.
Yeah.
I think one of their offensive coordinator back then, who was Josh Gaddis, who ended up being the offensive coordinator for Miami the year he left, and that's when Miami had like that terrible offensive year where it was impossible to watch them. He ended up being one of the reasons that he was part of the KGB, funny as that is. And because the entire Miami staff and the entire city of Miami was wondering why the offense was so atrocious. And now this coming to light, and after all the evidence came out, He wasn't running the offense. He just knew what the other teams were running. He was just going up, just find. Okay, you know what? They're running this. Okay, obviously we have to run that. That will counteract that scheme. Boom. You just plug and play, plug and play. He wasn't even actually being a coach or a coordinator, bro. Bro, it's funny how everything has to screw me over. We're not even talking about Miami right now. Screw this. We're talking about Michigan. That I think the $20 million is a joke amount. It should be way more than $20 million. $20 million is junk change, bro. They're paying their new quarterback recruit Bryce Underwood $10 million as a recruit, bro. Don't give me that $20 million. You're funding him $20 million, bro. They wiped their butts with $20 million. Michigan, the guy Tom Brady tried to recruit this quarterback for $10 million, bro. He was committed to LSU, bro. Like, what are we talking about here? And then all of a sudden, you bring up the probation on recruiting and shit. That is crazy to me. That is crazy. Can you repeat that part again, please?
Well, I'll repeat it now, but also people were complaining, why is it that they're not being punished for their bowl games or their national championship and being stripped or vacated of that? And the NCAA's verdict on that was because they were not going to punish student athletes who were playing on the team that had nothing to do with the misconduct. That was their ruling in the NCAA and why they won't strip them of their titles.
Reggie Bush is pissed.
Look, no Jim Harbaugh, no Connor Stallion at all for the ending of the season. And they still went undefeated to end throughout the season, winning the big game against Ohio State, winning the national championship against Washington. So that team is deserving of those victories, I would have to say. Cheating scandal or not. I think the biggest thing, though, from the investigation, because I remember looking at this like a hawk from, Washington Post was posting a lot of things about it at the time. The investigation was somehow tipped off to the NCAA by hypothetically another university who, Ohio State, has also in the past been caught with cheating scandals. And then now they go to this where it's like, oh, yeah, sure. If you can, decipher the signs, okay, that's legal. You can do that on the sidelines. You can look at film and see what the formation is and see what's going to happen before. You can do that. But when it's going to a visitor's home for a game where Michigan's not even playing, that's where they're like, oh, Connor Stallions, he's sending people out there. He was in a military, right? He ended up having friends in college football going to different games across the country. From recording reports, he even had his mom go to a Purdue game, and no offense to the Boilermakers, but I don't really think you need to be deciphering anything to have a game against Purdue and beating the living crap out of them by 30 if you're Michigan. All right. So honestly, I think the whole thing is just stupid. $20 million, that's just, for some booster to pay for Michigan at this point.
Seriously, bro.
That was just for some of the NCAAs. It's like, oh, we did something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive they couldn't find any real factual money trail on Connor Stallions related to the University of Michigan. I guarantee, as Connor has done, according to reports, he went out of his way, ex-military guy, very clean. If he was to just be, cheating around or being on the sidelines of Central Michigan with a goatee and glasses and a hat from the world-famous photo, it's ridiculous. And the worst person that got all of this, it's not Michigan, it's not Jim Harbaugh, but it is Connor, though. 8 years unable to coach at all, try to push himself to, just be at Michigan. Honestly, I think that was, besides the Navy, that was probably his first job on staff in college football. And that's just taken away the Michigan man. But yeah, I think it's ridiculous from the NCAA. I think they're just trying to, use him as a sacrificial lamb for all this. Michigan, I don't think they have to be reprimanded at all. This is a stupid thing from the NCAA.
Don't you find it funny how it was, as they're getting more and more evidence, more and more rumors started to come out of Harbaugh having connections to the NFL in a coaching job, which ended up being with the Chargers?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
I would say in the last, because when he took the job, I think it was 2010 or 2014 when he took the job at Michigan. Any team in the NFL would have probably took Harbaugh. You know, that's like saying if Nick Saban wanted to go to the NFL the next day, he would go to the NFL the next day, middle of his Alabama tenure. If you want a winning national coach, and again, it is a little suspect because you're talking about, oh, everyone thinking Jim is a cheater. Everyone's thinking like, oh, what's going to happen to Michigan? Because again, that's all another part. The crazy part about it, this was live. This was an investigation during the playoffs. You know what I mean? That's how crazy this whole thing is.
But do you think the Chargers would have hired him as a head coach after?
You think the Chargers would have wanted Brandon Staley for another year? They would have had Jim in a heartbeat.
Even if it comes out that they found out that he was the one that he cheated, and then the Chargers like, hey, yo, we'll hire you.
Jonka,
if I'm trying to beat Pat Mahomes, yes, I would take anyone
Jonka,
that has
we're
a
talking about a
championship.
league that had Urban Meyer getting drunk and abusing his wife and still kept his job.
Kicked his kicker.
Yeah. Like, Blake, you got something?
So as someone that grew up playing baseball, and during my start of my high school career was the Houston Astros cheating scandal. I don't even know why you punish Michigan. I just believe in sports. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Cheat. I'm a lifelong Dolphins fan. In 2015, the Patriots screwed over Andrew Luck, who I love, by deflating the footballs. He shouldn't have gotten suspended for any games. If you're not at least trying to do something to give yourself an advantage, like I don't see an issue of them going to the games and having people in the stands taking pictures of signs that are getting put and then writing down what play happened on what yardage and what bunch set. Like that's just me personally. I know I'm in the minority thinking something like that, but 20 million is a joke. That's awful. There's a Kansas booster. This is Kansas. Wasn't even boosting for the basketball program. Gave 300 million.
I heard about that. It's crazy.
They got the number one recruit in the class right now, in the football. Kansas, like 20 million. Like Tom Brady might just to do 10 million out of his own pocket.
Oh, seriously.
That's what I'm saying. Like the 20 million doesn't matter. I don't care about the money. The 14-week recruiting ban though, that's something. Because I don't know about I haven't really talked to you guys about this, but like I knew a lot of guys that have played D1 football. I know a couple guys in the league now. Their mind is set pretty early on in the season. If you're going to a school like a Michigan where they're going, because Michigan's already contacted them. Michigan now has to go from the entire start of those guys' senior and junior years, not contacting them, not contacting these 5 stars, these 4 stars in these smaller states that they can easily just pluck away. Now other schools are going to be in and do that. I think the National Signing Day this year is going to be a very fun day to see flips, because these guys are going to verbally commit to a place like I don't know, let's say like Miami, just an example. Like they're going to verbally commit to Miami National Signing Day. Yep, I'm going to Ann Arbor. Like, give me the hat. Like, I think that's I'm looking forward to that at the end of the year.
College football 26. Easy.
Brandon, and to your point about Ohio State, maybe Ohio State was the CIA spying on the KGB.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Make it fun.
Hope so.
As Blake said, I'm pretty positive everyone cheats in college football. You know, if you got an advantage in college football, you got to go take it.
I can just see Ohio State on the other side and looking at each other, coach and staff looking at each other like, yeah, we've seen that before. We know what that is. We've done that before. We know what that is. Anyways, Brandon, this is your time to shine. Miami Heat re-signed Drew Smith to a 3-year deal. But before you go, I kind of think this has to do something with Haywood Highsmith's contract, getting him off of books. There was a lot of talk that Haywood Highsmith was the factor on bringing Kevin Durant to Miami, but that's just a bunch of rumors. And I mean, Spoelstra loves Drew Smith, and he's been high on Drew Smith for a while now, so it's no surprise on why they re-signed him.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about a consistent guy that's going to be coming off the bench. I mean, we're talking about, I believe like 50 to 53% from three-point range, field goal overall from the floor, shooting efficiency. But the Highsmith thing, the most intriguing thing about that argument is the trade itself. Obviously, 4 for the Bucks, got under the tax, 13-man roster, now 14 with Drew. Him and a second rounder in 2036 for a second rounder for the upcoming year. Is there a specific player that they're looking at? Is there a specific thing about this draft class of the Heat are like looking at? Because I just don't understand. You went out of your way to get rid of a guy and a draft pick just to get back that same draft pick. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. So this was obviously a big dump. Obviously a contending team with Highsmith. You know, some argue he's 3-and-D. Some say he's one of the more premier defensive guys on the wing. Like, let's say, for example, if the Indiana Pacers had a guy like Highsmith, you know, there's arguments. Actually, I heard this on Talk Radio the other day, that if Highsmith was on the Indiana Pacers, they might have won the championship because that would have been someone to guard Jalen Williams. That would have been someone to guard,
True.
you know, Wiggins or some. So I think that the move, and especially even with Drew Smith being an addition to this team, it really doesn't move the needle for Miami. If anything, it might set them back a little bit, depending exactly what's going to go on. Because Kyle Anderson's gone, Highsmith's gone, and to replace that is Powell, who phenomenal pickup for the Heat. But then Drew Smith coming right behind him. There's not a lot of depth on this team right now, and it's becoming more evident because I don't even think that Hawkes, they've been trying to shop Hawkes for I don't know how long.
Since he's been drafted.
Just about.
I think
Just
his sophomore year slump was really bad.
Yeah, and you know, some people may contest it to playing time. You know, he had a lot in the open of the year, then the whole Jimmy Butler thing happened, and he didn't got basically, you know, none. I don't know where this Heat team's going with this. I really don't know where they're going with this.
We do know that they're a organization that likes to make their moves in the dark and keep things in the dark without people knowing what exactly they're looking at or what they're doing. I do know they tried to shop Andrew Wiggins, but they were pretty content with the amount of time Andrew Wiggins has spent this offseason in the practice facility, spending time trying to get better. You do have Fontecchio, who they decided to keep in that swap for Duncan Robinson that sent him to Detroit. And then, I mean, you can't move Terry Rozier. You can't move a guy who's under FBI investigation. So you can't really get rid of him. And then, of course, there's the Hawkes situation.
You could have moved Terry Rozier if he was a model citizen.
and the situation with Terry Rozier, from what I've heard, is that he's kind of just forgotten how to play basketball. And they've made some bad moves. The Heat has made some bad decisions in the past, and now they're trying to undo some of those decisions. Obviously, they're still not too big. You got Bam, and playing behind Bam is going to be Kello Ware. This is just a roster. Yes, the Powell pickup, Brandon, like you said, is good. But this is still a roster that, yeah, I believe they could be competitive. But it's just, I don't think it's enough to win a championship.
It's far from.
Yeah.
Miles away.
The only way this team has a chance of even competing for a championship is if Bam mans the hell up and becomes the star that we've been looking for ever since we've gotten him. He has been underwhelming to me. Yes, he's been a great defender, but his offense has been so lackluster that you have to rely on everybody hitting threes just to produce anything. These little floaters, he can't make a floater. And all of a sudden, he's doing fadeaway mid shots that he's like 45%, 50%. I don't even know. It's the
that
most
free throw line turnaround is awful.
I don't know what he's thinking, but he needs to fix it quick. But I'm hoping that he's been working on it this offseason. Give the ball to Ware. It opens up the court. Now you have an actual five. Do something. Because if not, there's no way I'm paying Bam $50+ million, bro. No way. Shop him out, trade him, do something. There's no way. You'd be the one hindering the entire team if he doesn't give me something this year. Period.
Yeah.
Like, until what point are we gonna wait?
Yeah. And I wanted to throw this by you, Brandon, because when I brought up the idea of being an intern to you guys, and I went and read some of your stuff. Sorry, and I saw you wrote about the Heat. You've written about the Heat in your life, or you've talked about the Heat.
Yes.
I I want to know what your thoughts are. I have an issue with the Heat's organization in their front office because of how much pride Pat Riley has to try and make this team a playoff team every year. I personally, if I got told, hey, you're the GM of the Heat today, what are you doing? I'm walking out to the fans and I'm going, hey, we're trading everyone. We're going to be bad because the only way you win in the NBA is you draft a generational player or you have 4 superstars on one team. Well, not superstars, but one superstar and 3 stars on one team, what the Thunder just did. That's the only way you win now. And I'm sorry, but if Tyler Hero is your number 1 scorer on a team you're looking to contend with, it's too inconsistent. That can't happen. Even if you brought in Kevin Durant, this team's not going to be a top 3 seed. Kevin Durant was, how is it? 37, 38 now?
Yep.
I think so.
Like you're going to ask Kevin Durant, hey, you're still an all-time great. You still can score whenever you want, but we're going to ask you to do that for 73 games and go into the playoffs and give me 41 minutes a night. Like with this roster, winning is not a realistic expectation with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo as your 1-2.
I would probably say, and if I'm going to be talking to Heat fans out there, lean into this Norman Powell thing. I've had so much stock with this guy when he was averaging 24 a night in Los Angeles. Off the bench, should have been honestly 6-man, all-star caliber type of guy. Lean off this guy. This guy is hungry. He wants to score. He's basically, if not number 2 option, number 1 option offensively for this Heat team currently right now, unless we see Tyler Hero, like we did last year in his all-star year, take that another leap where he wants to be with the Trae Young conversation. He wants to be in the Luka conversation. Not even saying he's getting closer to the Luka conversation. That's what he's telling us. But again, when also what John was saying about Bam Adebayo, a lot of people were saying, and also another thing too, because the Heat front office with Pat Riley, I feel like mimics so much of the fan base. When the Miami Heat were making their way through the East as an 8 seed, going to the NBA Finals, and then you finally have a situation where it's like, oh, we can finally pick up a guy. Like most Heat fans at that time, we love Max Strus. We love Caleb Marr. We love Gabe Vincent.
Love Caleb.
We love all these guys. Pat Riley was probably at his old age, unfortunately, was listening to the city of Miami, which if anyone is from the city of Miami, you don't listen to the city of Miami. This is even a sports take. You do not listen to anyone off the street of Miami, especially Brickell. Either way.
Yeah, especially Brickell.
But listen to us, though. Listen to us.
Listen to us. Listen to us on Mondays at 10 p.m. But
we're not in Dade County. It's fine.
Exactly. But no, I'm pretty sure Pat Riley and the majority of the people in that room in the organization, these guys brought us to a finals. Why wouldn't they do it again? And unfortunately, they did it again.
That's the worst part.
And that kept on going and going. And now we're in a situation where the Heat were too patient with the current roster, and they're unfortunately going to move where they can't even move guys on the roster. They try to move 5 guys on this team to get a player that's, as you said before, 37, 38-year-old Kevin Durant. And Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green were the moving cards that had Phoenix. Yeah, I'd rather go over there with that move. So for Miami right now, if you're a Heat fan, have a fun season watching Norman Powell, have a fun season watching Tyler Hero, and have a fun season watching them get in the play-in tournament. That's the most I can tell you.
Oh, that felt personal, Brandon.
You're going to see a lot of ISO ball this year.
Yeah, a lot of Bam ISO ball.
Well, listen, what do you guys
That's so bad.
Don't do that to me, bro.
What do you guys think of a starting lineup of Norman Powell, Bam, Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell, and let's say Nikola Jovic?
Khalil Ware would be in over Jovic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the fact you said Jovic in that starting lineup,
that's the issue.
Tells me this is even a top 5 roster in the East. Alone in the East.
Top 5? I don't think it's a top 8.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you beating Detroit? Are you beating the Knicks?
No.
Are you going out of your way beating Cleveland? Are you going out of your way in this current roster beating, let's say, even without Jason Tatum, the Boston Celtics?
No.
You know?
The Orlando Magic. They're not better
Orlando,
than
and I've been on. Hey, my stock on Orlando has been high.
I someone that lived in Orlando, and I watched that come up. Paolo Banchero is the real deal. He's so good.
Franz Wagner, my boy.
Franz Wagner, the guy. or even Cleveland. We didn't even bring up Cleveland. So I'm saying, to me personally, just off
Detroit.
the top of the head, that's 6. We said Detroit.
Detroit's my
That was the
favorite.
first one.
Yeah, we
exactly.
said, yeah. Now, the only team I would say, because I think if you want to put like in a tier list where Miami Heat are going to be, especially in the Eastern Conference, I think you might have them as a tier 3 where like they're on the edge of competitive on paper, like the Milwaukee Bucks. Like the Bucks, yeah, you can see it. Giannis, why not? But are they going to make it past through the second round? Are they going to make it into a team where, like, yeah, they have a better roster than New York. They have a better roster than Cleveland right now. I don't think, and again, season hasn't even started yet, but I really don't think those teams fend off any of them through a 7-game series. That's what I feel about Miami. I can't see Miami go through 7 games through half of this Eastern Conference. I just don't.
And you got a guy on the Heat roster still like Kashad Johnson who got even less time than Drew Smith.
Yeah, it's no. And honestly, the one thing that I think is really sick too, because me and our friend were talking about the Heat's upcoming season. Pelle Larsson's right now playing in Europe for a tournament. He's still getting himself going. I was thinking to myself, how disgusting would it be if Pelle Larsson finds his way as a rotational guy back and forth to the starting lineup? That's how messed up the season can get. That's how messed up, especially with Highsmith not there. Who's playing at wing besides Andrew? That's how disgusting this season could get. So you've been warned.
38.5 wins for the Heat. That's what we finished last year. That's what this roster is. The Heat since 2020 have been one player away from being one player away, and you're not gonna get it. Just blow it up, get rid of all of it.
Robert, I'm gonna put that on your tombstone, bro.
One player away from being one player away. Like that was the whole thing with the Jimmy Butler and when they went for the COVID championship. It was like, oh, Bam and Tyler Hero. Tyler was injured. They're gonna make that leap, and then you just see that one guy that can settle it. Never happened.
Listen, about that 2020 championship, I stand by it and I will die on it. If Bam and Goran Dragic don't get injured, we take that series. I don't care what you tell me. We take that series.
Goran Dragic is not Michael Jordan.
Went 6 games. That series went 6 games.
Jimmy Butler had the greatest 4-game stretch in finals history to win one game.
You don't think having Goran Dragic healthy and Bam healthy for the entire series would have at least gone to 7 games?
I think it stays 6.
They were too small.
1-6 already.
I know, but I don't think it changes it that much. Like I love Goran Dragic. It's not that drastic of a improvement at your point guard position because Jimmy Butler was just going to have the ball the whole game anyway.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say the point of too small or whatever. Rajon Rondo's on the other side.
True.
You don't think Dragic and Rondo were going to go back and forth nonstop, offensive and defensive on both sides of the floor? I mean, the Lakers' backcourt, as old as they were, and they were so old. Like, that was a whole veteran team. But they probably had a better one than Miami at the time. Tyler Hero, too young. Dragic dealing with his age. And then you got, some of the smartest minds in basketball with Rondo and LeBron. And then,
well, I don't know, but Caldwell Pope turned into prime Ray Allen in that series. So,
hey, that's what the Magic fans were waiting on for the last 3 years. So I'm
Where's
telling
2020 Gary Trent Jr. Anybody? I'm just saying. Where is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, that was good. That's all the time. We had 2 more to go, but NFL preseason, talking about NCAA, and of course this Miami Heat situation that they're in now. It's a situationship is what I would say. Is all of our time for tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed episode 196. We'll see you guys next time for episode 197. We hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Support the troops.